Hello, Love Wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Start off with the biggest news of the week. The RADz lost!
But every night I make a new best friend, and the only problem is we like having a good time. Forget yourself now.
If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the RADz are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Between two beards.
Getting down.
Hello, everybody. Pluggo. You make me laugh during the friggin' intro.
I'm fired up, dude. It's really,
I know,
anyway,
I'm good.
Go,
I'm
go.
fired
Do the
up,
thing.
too.
Do the thing.
Hello. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. Y'all know what that means by now.
What does it mean? And then I go, what does that mean, JPJ?
Yeah,
Tell
and I
him.
go, it's another episode of Between Two
And then I go, you
Beards.
goddamn
Episode
right it is.
110, July 6th,
Holy crap.
2023. Pluggo,
Yes, sir.
how we doing, brother? How we doing?
I am good. I thought I was going to be late because I decided
You
to assistant coach my son's all-star team, and we had a
They
game
took a
today.
whooping tonight, though. They took a whooping.
They did play. They played with heart, though. I got to give them that. It just wasn't our outcome, but that's okay. We got 7 more to go, and I made it here. But it's a big night. We got a new show debuting at 10 o'clock over on Twitch.
Oh, we damn do.
ROHX. Why don't you tell the people about that? Because we kind of spearheaded that bad boy.
We did. Kyle Sparks, a friend of the show, we had him on. We had been chatting with him for a while, and he's a big Ring of Honor guy. I need to start watching Ring of Honor more regularly. I know I do.
We say that every week, but we're always
I know. There's only so much time. Come on. But yes, no. And we had reached out because he wanted to kind of come back and do a Ring of Honor show. And I said, hey, you know what? There's a slot right after us on Thursday nights, which Ring of Honor is now on Thursday nights. They start at 7.
Now we have to do the honor. We have to honor the 10 o'clock out.
Correct, which I like. I like that. And Kyle has Robert DeFelice joining him as his co-host, which is awesome. Robert is a wonderful gentleman. And then when she's back from her non-wrestling thing she has going on, Kylie from Fightful Tag Talk, great show with her and Haley. She's going to be joining them. So then there'll be 3. It'll be a 3-way dance talking Ring of Honor. And we have in Love Wrestling at the time, like up until this, we didn't really. Well, we would talk about the big stuff, but we didn't have a dedicated show.
And it
talking
deserves
about Ring of Honor, and it does.
It
does deserve it. So very excited. That'll be on Twitch, following us at
Love
10
Wrestling
p.m. every Thursday. Twitch.tv/Love Wrestling CA. But
on top of that, before we bring him on, because I thought I was going to be late today, and I didn't want JPJ. He could have done it. I know he can. He's the man. I thought I was going to be late. Got here just in the nick of time.
Pluggo's he knows I couldn't have done it, so he's like,
no. I figured. Well, I also figured in case of emergency, right? So like, I tell you I'm going to be here, and then something happens as I'm rushing home, and then you need like somebody to fill the whole 2 hours. We got Blair from Rainmaker Pod coming on right here in a second. But before I do, I want you guys after this channel Hi, shout out to Sierra. Welcome to the chat, friend. Go check out our interview we did last week with Shane Hawk.
Yep.
We talked about Alex Kane. We're 2 sleeps away from Alex Kane winning that MLW World.
Good luck to Alex Kane, friend of the show. He's going to win that belt on Saturday.
But after this, go check that out. We clipped out the good portion of it, but he gave us a full hour. It's amazing stuff. But not without further ado, let's get him on. My other best friend, my other partner in crime, For Exposure.
And watch their show too. We'll get Blair on. Talk about your show.
We'll Blair plug it because he needs to learn.
How we doing, my friend? What's going on?
Hey guys.
Hey,
I like how
happy to have you back.
Ended up being late.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, Pluggo's like he's messaging me like a half hour ago.
Okay.
Like, he just goes like this. He goes, "Gonna be late."
Because they said they were going to 7:30.
And he hopped on literally like 3 minutes after I.
Full disclosure, games start at 6. They go till 7:30 or the 5th inning. We lost, but the coaches were like, "Hey, we're out here. It's the first game. Let's use the full hour and a half."
Yeah.
So if that would have ended at 7:30, then you chit chat with the game for 5 minutes after. Then you get everything around. It takes me from the ballpark to here 22 minutes. So I would have been like,
you better not have been breaking any speeding laws.
No, I wasn't. I
was better have been following the rules of the road.
Good. No, literally, I followed the rules of the road. Got here, but I got here with an uncomfortable time because they ended a little early. But I was hustling around. Then I had to, we had to talk to some players after the fact.
Yeah.
This assistant coaching gig, it is what it is. But we boys played well today. I'm here. I'm on time. Bygones be bygones. Blair's here.
Yeah.
Blair, what do you do? What do you do on Saturday mornings?
Well, funny enough, every Saturday on Love Wrestling, I host For Exposure with my good friend Pluggo.
Hi, that's me.
You. And we talk about the world of independent wrestling, and we have a lot of fun, and it is a great time, and everybody should watch.
That's right. This Saturday, right here on this channel. Mikey Mumbles in the house. Ryan Sullivan.
Yeah, Mikey, what is going on? Sullivan's in the chat.
Ryan, since you're here tonight, stay tuned to your DMs. Now that I've kind of settled my week down, JPJ and I are going to be sliding into your DMs here. Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe tonight. I don't know.
Maybe tonight. We'll see how
we might get weird. Weird.
We'll see how we're doing after the show.
Doing.
But we have a lot to talk about. Money in the Bank happened over the weekend. I want to talk about that. We can talk a little Monday Night Raw. We can talk some Dynamite.
It was in the graphic. Let's talk about it now.
Yeah. Okay. But I know Pluggo's itching, so I'm going to let Pluggo have the floor.
Let's talk about it now.
Who knows? I mean, knock on wood. Last week they did not make them. We were
RADz free.
Clean show.
That's the power of Shane Hawk, though. Like, are you really going to be that low to interrupt
Dustin, how
Batman?
are you doing? Thanks for hopping in the chat.
Yeah, hey Dustin. Dustin's the GOAT. Go check out Dustin. He does some good graphics.
Some good graphics.
Sometimes he takes shots at us, but that's okay. We love him anyway. But you'd be a very dastardly heel if you cut off Shane Hawk mid passionate interview. So the RADz stayed away like they should have. But they took so LPW 16 was this past weekend. What a show. Great show.
Fun.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Super fun show.
You do this.
If you want our in-depth thoughts about it, Blair and I covered it on For Exposure last week. Go check out that podcast. It's up on this YouTube channel right now. But all of the RADz took big fat L's, baby. Big fat L's. They run their mouths. Rich King was talking shit literally while our intro was going on Twitter because he doesn't like whoever made our graphics because it mentions, the RADz lost, which was perfect. They took a loss. TY couldn't get it done in his title shot. The tag team couldn't get it done in their tag team match. Is there something going on with the RADz here? Because I mean, journalistic integrity. I'm thinking that they got some stuff going on in their brains. They're having some problems. What's going on? Rich, TY, Mitch, Larry, Ben. I know you're watching. You watch every week. We live rent free in your heads. Show up. Tell us what happened. Anyway,
objectively speaking, you can have a slump. You can go through a slump.
Yeah, that's what I'm just wondering. Like we asked them journalistic questions when they were on. They said there was no no title loss hangover. They were going to get right back on the wagon. TY's coming home with the gold. They said all these things, and it just didn't happen.
They did.
So I'm concerned for our dear friends over at the RADz headquarters. Are they okay? Are they going to be okay? Is there some tension we don't know about? Or is that wrestlers court looming over their head? What's going on? Blair, help us out.
I don't know if I fully believe your concern here. I'm a little skeptical about it. I'm just
best
saying,
friends. How dare you?
We're best friends, but I feel I can call you out on it. So I mean,
you guys, this is genuine. This is my genuinely concerned face. I am super worried about the RADz and the what's the word I'm looking for? The ramped up amount of losses they've taken over the last few events. It's worrying me.
It might be time to retool. I don't know.
Maybe those RADz were spending too much time worried about little old Pluggo and quote unquote the second worst streamer of all time. Oh boy. Instead of worrying about their matches on Friday night. I don't know. Maybe it worries me because they're such important figures in the LPW community that them taking losses is not good for the brand. So I'm genuinely concerned. I'm going to reach out individually. I'm going to see how they're doing, respectfully, of course.
Oh, this is going to end well.
And listen, shit! Somebody's ears were burning, folks. Look who's here! Hey,
were you? I need to ask before we dive in. Were you listening?
I'm concerned. I'm worried for you.
That's all I need to know.
Listen, when I hear my name, something just like I start twitching. So then I know it's you guys talking shit.
Well, first of all, don't say you guys.
Yeah.
I stand by Pluggo till the end, but I have not said a damn word over here.
Nope.
So
I'm just concerned. I'm worried about you guys. You guys are in a bit of a slide.
It does seem like he might be sincere, though.
Yeah, I
can't you see I have this snuggie on? I'm very
comfortable. I was gonna.
I will say,
you do.
Beef aside, you look good.
It's like plus 25 here though, so it's not the weather to wear this. But Snuggie T.Y. Jackson is here.
Yeah, you look comfortable.
No, I've just kind of been reminiscing because I'm the rightful LPW Grand Champion. I won that belt, and I feel like I got screwed. So I'm sitting here in my snuggie, being sad.
I will say it wasn't before you jumped in. It wasn't clean as a sheet. You didn't lose. Like there was some chicanery, if you will. But at the end of the day, the record book says you're not the champion.
Pluggo, do you ever stop talking? You talk so much, Pluggo. I have never once heard you just sit in silence and let your co-host talk. Like JPJ over here is struggling, and and Blair is struggling here too today.
I'm trying.
Is that it? They gave me the floor to talk to you.
So here's what happened. The RADz got screwed by 7 again. Okay, that's what happened to Rich King Lumber. And who made that? Who made that graphic?
Which graphic?
The one of Larry. You know the one I'm talking about. The one of Larry looking real bad.
Oh, our thumbnail that we used to promote the show? Oh, I thought you meant our intro graphics. I'm not supposed to talk. You guys tell him.
What?
Well, we'll find him and we'll jump him.
Don't listen. Yeah.
Don't jump our graphics department because you lost. That's
Listen,
not right.
You had to use the RADz as clickbait to get people to watch this show, okay? Because nobody's listening otherwise.
Well, come on.
Wow. JPJ taking a shot at you.
I'm the rightful LPW Grand Champion. I deserve to have that championship around my waist. I won that fair and square. I didn't even cheat. And I cheat a lot. I cheat everything I do. I cheated in school growing up. I cheated on all my girlfriends. I cheat on everything.
Really? Wait, seriously?
But even in this match, I didn't even cheat. And I still lost. So this is why. This is why going the right way doesn't work.
Maybe it was karma for all the times that you have cheated?
No, I've never had a girlfriend. But I figured that'd be... I figured that'd be smooth to say,
It was. It did fit. I liked it.
It was.
Yeah.
We'll edit that part out where you said you didn't have a girlfriend.
No, you could keep it in. There's nothing else that can make me sadder than Ardian.
Oh, Listen, listen. Pluggo said his piece. I will say that I do think you got robbed.
Thank you.
For being objective, I do think you got robbed. I think if the chicanery that Pluggo spoke about didn't happen, I think we might have had a different outcome.
See, JPJ, this is why. Can you just come closer to the camera and put the side of Mwah. This is why you're my favorite, JPJ, because you see things objectively. You know,
that's how I have to do it.
I see them objectively as well.
I came into this stream a battered man. Okay, I am down horrendous, and all you've done is punch down on me, Pluggo. Just respect me. Is this what you do to people when they're down, Pluggo? Is this what you do? Oh. Poor Mrs. Pluggo. I feel so bad for her. Having to deal with you every single day.
Getting a taste of their medicine. Oh, poor Red, poor Boo. Last time I fell for this whole spiel, one of my favorite NBA players' jerseys got stomped out. So I
was pretty good, wasn't it?
I was genuinely
that's why Pluggo
thinking. I'm still heated.
If you've noticed, like Pluggo still hangs on to that because he knew he got duped.
Yeah,
because I thought we were turning. It
happens to all of us. But
I thought we were going to have a celebration of the Rads and Beards coming together, and Rich to completely destroy it.
Well, it's your fault, Pluggo. You can see how we've been nice to JPJ the whole time. I've been sweet to Blair the whole time. I've never said anything to any of these two, so I think it's a you problem. I don't think it's a RADz problem. Don't you think?
I'll die on this hill. I'm good.
Maybe we need a round table to hash this all out, get everybody on the same page.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I wouldn't be opposed to a B2B RADz round table.
I think we could do that. I mean, Larry's internet connection is very unreliable, so we might have to phone him in or something.
Okay.
Or dial up or something.
What about just audio? Could he do audio?
Yeah, I think he could. He's up in the backwoods of Alberta, you know, hauling lumber. So he could
send in telegram.
He is a lumberjack. He lives in the deep, you know.
Did he find his car yet?
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
Thankfully, because without that car, he's not going anywhere. No more shows for him.
Side note. Can you send me the link where you bought that?
Oh, the Snuggie?
Yeah.
I got it from Costco.
Really?
It looks so cozy.
Yeah. Dude, I love it.
I have never been more
jealous.
Yeah.
You need to get one.
The second you popped on, I was like, man, that looks comfortable. That was the first thing I thought of. The second thing I was like, he's going to ruin Pluggo. That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. See, look at him. Pluggo. He's reading a book look at this disrespectful human being.
Yeah.
At least it's a Young Bucks book.
You said not to talk, so I might as well read while you guys are having your kumbaya moments since you don't like me, TY.
Yeah. Listen, weren't you guys gonna talk about the RADz losing? I'm right here. Keep
did.
Going.
I said you guys have taken L after L lately. What's the RADz strategy to get back on the winning ways? I wasn't being disrespectful. You guys have objectively, whether it's chicanery or not, have been on the losing end.
You've been on a little slump.
What are you guys gonna do?
We all go through it. What's
RADz camp doing to get back on the? Rich said there was no problem. Is there a problem within the RADz right now?
Not a problem within the RADz, but I guess we got to go to the drawing board or something. Listen, we're trying to do things the right way. Okay, and you can't deny that we've been trying to do things the right way recently.
I cannot. Yeah, objectively, I agree. I feel like you guys have been kind of more on the straight and narrow.
You could argue that even the tag match, there was some shenanigans in that one. I mean, Thaddeus did create the distraction. I mean, I don't know. I think that I'm trying to stay very neutral to everyone involved, but the RADz may have been cheated out of some victories at the last LPW event.
This is good stuff. I needed this. JPJ, Blair, I needed this.
I want to get there. I want to get there with you.
Pluggo. Shut up.
Of dissension.
You shut up, TY.
Even in the midst of dissension, you got to be there for people. We know you're feeling down, so we're here to lift it up.
I was concerned until you started yelling at me again.
Anyways, thank you very much, JPJ. Thank you, Blair. I'm gonna let you guys get back to your shows.
Okay. We appreciate that.
I may or may not go back to crying, but I didn't tell you that. I didn't tell you that.
At least you'll be cozy.
Put on your favorite movie. Chill out, bro.
I will do that.
You guys, you already.
What is your favorite movie?
Oh yeah.
My favorite movie.
That's a tough question.
If you're in a bad mood, like you are now because you lost, what's your go-to? Like everybody has that movie that they put on when they're sad. In the chat, drop yours as well. TY, what is it? What do you look? Maybe I'll watch it later. Maybe we can bond.
That's a hard question. How are you gonna put me on the spot like that?
It is a tough
You
question.
came on beer and so you put us on the spot by showing up.
Ophelia saying Ty is my champ. Zoe and the Thickness cheated. So there you go.
There you go. There you go.
That's nice words on the way off. You know,
mine is like American Gangster. I really like that. I put that on when I'm just down. Or
it's a great movie.
Yeah. Or like the.
So you just like watching stuff that are completely different from your true personality, right? Like smart people movies, athletic people movies. Gangster movies.
I thought we were getting somewhere. I thought we got somewhere.
I did too. I was trying.
I thought we got somewhere.
Trying.
Damn.
Anyways,
I
might answer that.
Damn.
What was that? Sorry, Pluggo?
I said, why would I watch a movie that reflects who I am as a person? That would be a terrible movie.
Yeah.
That movie wouldn't get made, let's be honest.
Straight to DVD on that one.
Gas station bin $2, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm going to head out and let you guys have your show.
Answer the question. Answer the question. What are you watching right now tonight? Because you're sad.
Oh, me? Honestly, I'm probably just going to watch like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something.
Oh, great show. I ran through that like a couple months ago. Great show.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah. It's my happy show. So I'm going to go do that and eat some ice cream. All right. Have a great rest of your show, JPJ.
All right.
Blair. Eat shit, Pluggo.
Wow.
What is that?
TY.
Listen. I try to be nice.
All right.
What the? Why am I the bad guy? What the hell? What is that?
I mean,
listen in the chat.
Favorite movie.
Yeah, we got Omar
I did too.
In the chat. Good to see you, friend.
He probably doesn't watch movies.
Why wouldn't he watch what?
Maybe documentaries.
I mean,
maybe he's a doc. Maybe he's a documentary.
He's watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine though. That's good.
He's
a
TV show.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you know what he's probably doing. You ever seen Fever Pitch?
Yeah, it's awful.
But the scene where like he's watching the Buckner play over and over again.
Oh yeah.
He's got chicken wings all over his face. That's probably TY right now after his loss.
Yeah.
I bet you know what that Snuggie doesn't have? An LPW Grand Championship under it. Boom! TY. Anyway.
You didn't say that to his face. Why didn't you say that to his face
when
he was here?
Because he left.
Wow.
Because I was trying to be nice.
Come on, man.
He told me to eat shit.
He did tell you to eat shit. That is a true statement. He did tell you to eat shit. All right. Anyway, good Lord. Okay. So he did mention that, Ophelia. He did mention that the Snuggie was not in the weather. And it is, and where I am from, it is hot as hell today. Hot as hell. Anyway, Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank was this past Saturday. I feel like we should recap that show. I thought it was a very, very good show. I enjoyed Money in the Bank. I think WWE's been on a pretty decent run here this last little bit.
In terms of pay-per-views, yes.
Like the pay-per-views have been hitting. I feel like Raw has been a little bit better lately.
Can I ask both of you?
Yeah.
Do you think the pay-per-views are hitting because they're kind of using that cheat code of going to like Puerto Rico, London, all these places that haven't had a show in 20 years, so they're just like extra amped?
I think that's a part of it. I think those crowds help. Obviously, the crowd can make a good show bad, and the crowd can make a good show great, in my opinion. Like a crowd can swing a show. You know what I mean? Especially that, the London crowd, you always know that England's bringing it, right? You always know. But the Puerto Rico crowd for Backlash was insane. That was incredible. They were so loud from the beginning of that show till the end. But yeah, I thought Money in the Bank was really, really good. And it started off pretty hot with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, in which we saw Damian Priest win the Money in the Bank briefcase. I know a lot of people, myself included, were pulling for LA Knight. But with that being said, and I'll hand it off to Blair after this, none of us should be upset that Damian Priest won the Money in the Bank briefcase. That dude has been killing it with the Judgment Day. He is everything. He's a future world champion easily. Like he's got everything you want. It shouldn't be a shock, but I think, LA Knight had the buzz and he's been awesome too. But yeah, I had no problem. I had no problem with Damian Priest becoming the Money in the Bank.
I thought that was a very smart choice. I mean, he's been on fire lately. I think you can see just how over LA Knight is. And I mean, it'd be like a great, story like him winning the Money in the Bank. But I think ultimately he can get by without it and still be, still be on the top of the card, still be, like he's going to be over with or without the briefcase. So, but I think with Priest, he's busted his ass the past year, we'll say. I think this is a very well-deserved accomplishment for him. And the fact that now he's going to be able to interject himself up into that main event picture, and he's really going to add some, I don't want to say flavor, but he's going to add another element to some of those matches, whether it's against Seth, whether it's against Cody or whoever it might be, Roman. So I'm liking the Priest win.
I actually think that by the time he cashes in, he's going to be a babyface. That's what I think, because they're obviously going to, him and Finn are clearly having issues. And I think that's going to lead to him getting kicked out of Judgment Day, I think. Like, that's been the rumor. They did the JD McDonough tease a while ago. Like, that's been like kind of the rumor. And now you're seeing the dissension, and now him with the briefcase. And I thought they played it off, and we'll talk about it later on in the night. I thought they played it off pretty well during that match as well. But yeah, I mean, Pluggo, I mean, who were you were pulling for LA Knight too, right? I feel like we were on the same page then.
Had I, like I always do, I always kind of rank it in terms of, and Priest was at a solid 3 for me, because I thought it'd be Logan Paul makes the most mainstream sense, so you might go that route. LA Knight, I think the idea there, he's just had caught in fire. But I mean, Damian Priest, it was shocking to me only because it's all right, now we're gonna have the dissension amongst the Judgment Day, but they had just they really just started to get into their real good stride with it, and I just hadn't seen. All right, do we run back Priest and Rollins? How do you? But the way they pulled it off on Monday, they've used him since. Damian Priest deserves it. I think, we just talked that Puerto Rico show.
Yeah,
he doesn't kill it like he did in that stretch.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't think he has the briefcase, but it's a smart play. But the only caveat I had was okay, so we're now keeping a briefcase out of Roman's way, because Priest is on Raw, and I think that's
but
where
you can cash in on.
You can, but I don't think that they're going to do that.
To cash in on Seth.
Although Priest and Roman would be dope, but I think that he's ultimately going to go after Rollins.
Yeah, I think eventually, or whoever is that, I just I wouldn't be shocked if he holds on to it for a little bit, and by the time he does cash in, he is on his own, separated from the Judgment Day, and maybe even a babyface at that point. I just feel like they could. He's cool as shit, man. Cool. It is. He's just cool. He's got a great voice, a great look. He can go in the ring. I think he is a superstar. I truly do. He can be one for that company.
And don't worry, Guy, we're going to talk about her when we get to that match.
We will talk about her. We have Dustin asking, has there ever been anyone that's waited a full year to cash in the Money in the Bank? I know Rollins obviously waited a while. He did it Mania. Ziggler did it the night after Mania, his year. But I don't think that's a full year. I mean, it would have to. Those are usually summer pay-per-views, so I don't know if anybody's ever held it.
I don't think
for a full year.
Mela came close. She did it for almost a year, but yeah.
That was one of my favorite cash-ins. I love that one.
Oh,
the Mela one?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, shout out to Io Sky though, who did win, and we'll talk about it when we get to the match. She's held the briefcase longer than the last 5 winners combined.
That's what happened. She's already the second longest holder of the briefcase.
It's only been 5 days.
4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. It's crazy. I thought this match, I liked everybody that was in the match. It had a fresh feel to me, because it felt like, okay, no matter what happens, this is going to be somebody fresh, somebody new, that we can, it's not a guarantee, but we can assume is going to be maybe a future world champion here within the next calendar year. I thought the spot with Logan Paul and Ricochet was scary as hell, but they made it work. But I thought there were some cool spots. I loved Butch in this match when they let him go for a little bit and like gave him his shine. I thought that was just the energy and stuff. I thought it was a very well laid out match, and it was a good match to start the show. I did like the women's Money in the Bank match more.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about when we get to there, but I thought this was a great start to the show. We then had the undisputed WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. It was Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey defending against Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez. And we had a swerve in this one that I wasn't expecting, but I loved. In the middle of the match, Shayna Baszler just beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey. Just beat the crap out of her. And left her. And this caused Liv and Raquel to win back, which they never lost. They never lost these titles. Win back the Women's World Tag Team Championships.
Blair snickered the loudest, so I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah.
Out
of nowhere.
I don't understand this at all. I mean,
out of nowhere.
Everything about the tag titles with the NXT tag titles combining with the other women's tag titles, and the fact that you're having Liv Morgan pin Ronda twice in 2 years, but it still feels like it was like not as impactful as it should be.
Yeah.
Like Liv is getting a raw deal here. Like for as great as she is, she should have been able to pin Ronda no problem in one of these past 2 years. And then to have this, I'm just, what are we doing here? Come on.
Yeah.
And also, it didn't feel like Liv was out that long.
I think she was though.
Was she?
A few. It was like
when did they win
months.
them initially? Okay, because like, yeah, the whole unification, and then just like Shayna made it make sense on Monday with her promo, which I thought was great. She explained. She basically said everything that the WWE Universe has said about Ronda, which made it hit. But at the same time, it was kind of like, why there? Why that? I want to know why you decided I don't want these titles. They mean nothing to me. I'd rather just kick the crap out of you over hold gold in the WWE.
I am not upset about a Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler feud.
No, I'm not at all.
I'm not upset about that. I think
I'm just upset that this hurts the women's.
Shayna Baszler matter.
This just hurts the women's tag division, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's going to go back to not meaning anything.
Do you think that this was just hey, you lost these titles by injury. We can do this little side thing here with these two. We're going to give them back because you're back type of thing?
Yeah.
Or do you think I read
You said it though. Shayna and Ronda is a money feud.
Oh,
so you
do
this
SummerSlam match that people will be
you do that. You book that at SummerSlam. You've now created
Dustin, a fight pit for that would be cool. That would be cool. I'd be cool with like a fight pit or a cage, like something. We have to see where they go with it. But I'm not going to remember the publication, and I'm sorry for it. But I read something that Ronda's contract might be up here sooner than people know. And she's told them, like, I'm done with this. I'm done here. I'm not coming back ever, whatever. And they're like, okay, well, that this was always the plan. Like, eventually they were always going to do Shayna versus Ronda, but the contract could be up before people, like, know, like, quickly, like maybe SummerSlam, maybe. And they're like, all right, we got to do this now because she's leaving. That I did hear like that could be maybe something of why it was just because it wasn't, at least, I'm not going to say this, that what they've been doing has been my favorite things on the show, but like, I don't remember even an inkling of Shayna being upset, like ever since they've been together. Like this was just literally out of nowhere when it, like, to me, I was like not expecting it at all.
Yeah, there was no teases of dissension or anything between the two like you'd normally get. So
correct.
In that sense, like to me, it seemed almost rushed. But I mean, I didn't catch Raw, so I'm not too familiar with the Shayna promo afterwards.
She basically was like, I had to claw and earn my way to get here.
let's play. Blair likes to play games on Saturday mornings, like Blair's little tidbits. So Blair, name a criticism you have of Ronda Rousey in a wrestling ring.
The facial expressions.
Shayna talked about it.
Okay.
Name another one.
I'd say the eye makeup, but I don't think
Shayna didn't. No, Shayna, because she was wearing hers too.
Yeah,
she's maybe not so smooth in the ring.
I think she started the promo like saying something like, "I think I speak for everyone here." It seemed to me that
everyone was
going
like,
to be a baby face. Like it was very baby face-ish, even though she was dogging Ronda. But she said, "I think I can speak for everybody here that we do not want to hear you talking to that microphone."
And then everybody's like, "Yeah!"
And then everyone was like, "Yeah!" And then she just kept going, and she was like, I had to find my way here, and you just got invited to go to fight at WrestleMania." And like stuff like that.
And she's like, "You should be thanking me."
Yeah, you should be thanking me. I shouldn't be thanking you. Like, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. Type stuff. Like, it was very much that type of promo, and the crowd was like behind Shayna. It was like the crowd was fully like, "Yeah, you're right."
And if
go ahead.
Yeah. No, you go ahead, Blair.
I was going to say, with how much a lot of people don't like Ronda Rousey as it is, this could be the start of an epic babyface turn for Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would be into it.
Well, if you remember, and I know you guys remember because we're diehards at this shit, but like for those that don't remember, like Shayna was it the Mae Young Classic or her early days in NXT, and it was Ronda and Marina and Jessamine out in the crowd cheering her on. They were still in the MMA at the time. So in a lot of ways, Shayna's right. She's like, without me being successful and pulling this off, granted, I think even if Ronda Rousey came along without Shayna, I'm sure the WWE would entertain the idea of how big of a star she got. But I don't think Ronda would be as good without Shayna, working with her and giving her the blueprint and put her out. So hell yeah, give me that feud. I'm all for it. We've been calling for that for years.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, I'm not going to complain about that at all. We then had the Intercontinental Championship match. Gunther defending against Matt Riddle. Gunther won, as he is. He is incredible. This match was fine. It was what I expected it to be. Matt Riddle is very good, and I expected it to be what it was, but it wasn't anything that blew me away or anything like that. But Gunther is truly, he's one of my favorites in all of professional wrestling. He is, to me, he's like, I think I called him a living legend, but he is, I really enjoy what he does. He's super, super good at what he does. And he's a future world. He should be the one that beats Seth eventually, for the title. And like, he should be a long reigning world, like unstoppable world champion at some point. But yeah, I thought this match was fine. I thought this match was all right.
Do you remember the days when the Intercontinental title, like when you held that, especially had a long run, like it almost propelled you to the next level? Like after that, you were going to be in the main event scene.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like Gunther has rehabbed this title with this run, and it has the exact same vibe as like the early 90s, where after he loses, he gets put up to the main event picture and he's going to tear it up. And that I really like. You've made the secondary title mean something again, and you're also creating all of these feuds for yourself as soon as you lose that, whether it's with Cody, with Seth, with all of these guys. And these are going to be matches that are going to be, top matches of the night caliber.
Yeah.
So I like it.
I do too.
Yeah, Gunther came along at a time that the WWE needed him and he needed them. Like, do we remember that when they debuted? I'll just use when they debuted that new design that I'm not really digging. I love the old white strap and all that, but
yeah, I do. I do hope that
it was just
they use another new design.
They were bouncing it around. They couldn't really figure it out. And then, of course, the Roman stuff happens, and now all the main titles are tied up on Roman, and it's like, here's a perfect guy to just cement this title's legacy and take it on and make it mean something, because we needed that. He was putting on killer matches in the main event of SmackDown for a while there when Roman wasn't in. And then, of course, I knew Riddle wasn't getting it done. Riddle, I think they kind of put Riddle in the spot to get to what we're going to talk about next.
Yes, and that was obviously the big thing.
Before we talk about the big thing, of course, if you're in the chat, let us know what you thought about Money in the Bank, your favorite matches, your favorite moments. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Share this out to your friends. Let YouTube know that you love the beards and that you love Blair even more.
Yeah.
And the more times you share it out, the more times you smash the like button, that'll make TY happy as well.
100%. And we got Dustin in the chat saying that Gunther is only about 64 days away from being the longest reigning IC champion of all time. I think he's going to do it. I think he will do that. Oh, we got Mrs. Pluggo in the chat saying hello.
Hey, wifey, Mrs. Pluggo, hello. Good looking. How are you, my love? She loves her bearded boys. She said I need to trim mine up a little bit, though. She said mine's getting a little out of control.
It's getting, mine does that naturally.
Yours is gorgeous, Blair. Yours is coming.
Blair, yours is just.
I trim mine once a week because during the pandemic it was like, that's because I couldn't go anywhere. So now it's I keep it tidy.
Yeah, Mikey, glad you enjoyed it this year. I mean, it was good. But what everybody was talking about after the match, we hear Drew McIntyre's music. And Drew McIntyre comes back out. He has a stare down with Gunther. And he hits the Glasgow Kiss and the Claymore and kind of knocks Gunther out. And then he picks up the IC title. So it looks like at SummerSlam, it will be Drew McIntyre. That is true. The first lady of
First Lady of Bears, man. Damn right.
That is true. It looks like we're going to get McIntyre and Gunther for the IC title at SummerSlam, which I think is a good. I wanted Drew McIntyre to come back as a heel and attack Seth. I wanted exactly what happened here to happen later in the night, but I wanted McIntyre to be a heel and take out Seth after Seth retained. But this is going to be great. This is going to be great. I am not upset at all.
This is Pluggo look homeless. Now Lawrence is.
I think you look like.
Now Lawrence is saying
he's the first lady of B2B. He might have a case.
I mean, if anybody can figure out a case, it's Lawrence, our legal expert.
He is our legal counsel. But this is going to be great. I'm just happy to see Drew McIntyre back. Period. I feel like he is a welcome back to Raw because he did get drafted to Raw. I think that's good because he's a big star, former world champion. He matters. So it's just good to see him back. But I really want him to turn heel soon. I would like a heel badass Drew McIntyre. I think that would be fun. But talk to me about Drew McIntyre being back and what you guys expect from Gunther and McIntyre because that will be the SummerSlam match. So.
I mean, everybody loved the Sheamus Gunther matches from last year, was it? I mean, a lot of people had that up on their match of the year list. So,
the triple threat at Mania with Sheamus, Drew, and Gunther was one of the best matches of the whole show.
So the chemistry that Gunther and Drew have together, I mean, a singles, you give these guys 20 minutes, and I think that they are going to put on something very special. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the match. I do agree. I think a heel Drew would be a lot more interesting this go around, but I do think that they have time.
They get there. They can get there.
Yeah. So
you don't have to rush that. He's going to get a pop, especially in England. He's coming back. Let that happen. Have Gunther beat another top level guy to eventually beat that IC title reign, and then Drew can get. I came back and I lost my return match. I'm going to loop. Then you can. Start that, but I do agree. It's just good to get him back.
Excuse me. Sorry, I was
I felt like you.
I was going to say the only disappointing thing is we won't get to see Drew McIntyre at All In.
Yeah, that's true. That was the rumor that he was going to show up over there. But listen,
you can't go wrong. Gunther. I can't say it. Gunther, Drew McIntyre. Awesome stuff. I'm excited for it. And give me some edge to Drew. Don't come out with the sword. Just be a badass who just kicks people's heads off. That's
when you say edge to Drew. Do you mean like more angry, or do you want Edge to be?
Well,
I want Drew to become more Edge.
Week, right?
Yeah,
I think Edge is rumored to be. Have they announced it? I think Edge is rumored, or at least been announced to be at SmackDown tomorrow. And
because they just did the career
match with whoever that is.
Yeah, they looked back at his career last week, but I think we were looking back at Edge's career. We need to look forward.
You know who I think would be a good potential SummerSlam match for Edge? LA Knight.
Ooh.
That would be all right. Because LA Knight is still cutting. He's over as hell. Like people do they do the let me talk to you, but he's still cutting heel promos. He's still cutting. He talks shit about the crowd and stuff. He's just over, So I think
they just love
if you
him.
have Edge coming back, I think Edge and LA Knight could be pretty good. That would be fun at SummerSlam, but we'll see. Dustin saying he was also getting bored of Drew as a face, but we'll see him do something different down the line. So I think, Pluggo, your boy,
my boy.
Well,
Which boy? I got lots of boys.
You do, Dominic.
Yeah, Dom.
Dominic Mysterio, the next match against Cody Rhodes.
I was so disappointed that he didn't win.
Bro, come on. What'd you think?
We talked about ways.
But we saw on Raw. And I know Larry said he didn't watch Raw, but
Edmonton.
We thought that Brock would come back in this match and Dominic might get like a big W over Cody, but he ended up taking a big L, and this match sucked. Anyway, I did not like this match at all. I did not like this match at all. And I'm not a Dominic hater. I am not a Dominic hater. Cody deserved better than this.
Wait. Why did he deserve better than this, JPJ?
Because nobody gave a shit about this match. The crowd was quiet, or they were doing chants. Nobody. And I'm not.
Is it because he should have won at WrestleMania?
No, he just should be doing something bigger than fighting Dominic Mysterio. It's a different level. I understand that Dominic gets heat, and he's earned getting that heat. All right? I'm not a Dominic hater. Cody Rhodes is above Dominic Mysterio. Period. End of discussion. And this was a disservice to Cody Rhodes that he did this shit. But anyway, that's how I feel.
This was the one match I skipped. So
yeah. You know why? Because it sucked. Yeah. That's why. Anyway, good Lord. And I retweeted it. Righteous Reg from Fightful on Twitter. They released the clip of him kind of giving his opinion of Dominic Mysterio, and he nailed it 1,000%. I'm not going to try to repeat everything he said, but go find that clip after our show. You stay here. But after our show, go find the Righteous Reg clip. I retweeted it, so if you follow me on Twitter, you can find it. He nailed Dominic.
Me too, Ryan. Me too.
Yeah, sorry, I got upset there. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm always going to be upset about Cody Rhodes. Right? That's just what's going to happen to me.
You can yell in front of Blair. It's okay.
I know. But Pluggo, you go. How'd you feel about this match here?
Yeah. Like you said, it was okay. I thought there would be more to it. Cody wins. Yada yada yada. We move on. I wasn't overly excited about it because I thought that this was a good idea because of the heat that Dom gets. You give a cheap win somehow that keeps Cody strong.
This is kind of what Righteous Reg said. He said the heat that Dom gets is only when people don't want to talk or don't want him to talk. Like that's the heat that he gets. Every time he's on the mic, the crowd drowns him out. But once the bell rings, nobody gives a shit about Dominic Mysterio. Like nobody cares about a lot of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is one of the most over guys in the WWE. Like he is a overwhelming fan favorite. They sing his song. He gets massive cheers all the time. And you could hear a fucking pin drop during that match. And come on. Not great in my mind. Anyway, deep breath, all right? Goose problem.
Blair.
He said he skipped it. He said this was
I skipped it.
Well, I'm saying you want to help calm JPJ's nerves.
No, I'm fine. Because we're going to move on.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. See, we're genuinely concerned over here.
You know what?
I'm chilling.
We take a DB, a deep breath. Just take a DB.
Or do we do the ad read right now? Let you reset your nerves? No?
You might feel better.
We'll do the ad read after Money in the Bank. I'm good, bro.
I don't know.
Because we're moving on from Cody. We're moving on.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay.
We're here for you.
Like, are we moving on for good, or are we just moving on?
No. Cody will be. Cody's going to be fine. I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about where Cody's going to be. I just think that this was a waste of Cody's time. It's a waste of Cody's time. Anyway,
we're worried about you, big.
Because then right after this, we had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and this match kicked ass. It was Zelina Vega, Zoe Stark, Becky Lynch, Io Sky, Bayley, and Trish Stratus. And
the fact that you didn't say Trish and Zoe together upsets me.
I just read it as
I know, but they're
it is. I'm sorry.
They're
I'm sorry. I'm heated. I gotta, I'll bounce back. But I love this match. I thought this match was really, really good. It had a little bit of everything. I feel like the men's match was more of a high fly. There were a lot of bigger things that happened, bigger moments in the men's match, but I thought the women's match was like an actual really good match. There were stories there were stories happening in it. It was, it had the big spots, but then it was physical. I thought it was really, really good. Blair, I saw you kind of doing this, so I'll kind of let you go because I have a feeling you feel very similar to how I feel about this match.
I loved it.
Yeah.
The fact that you had Trish Stratus in this match, and I mean, she was still in there taking part in it. It's not like it was just, there for, just to make an appearance. She was active in the match. So I loved that. I love the fact that the crowd was doing
spot she took at the end.
I loved the fact that the crowd was so into Bayley singing the song, and you could see a smile on her face when they were singing it. That made me happy, you could tell she appreciated that. And I mean, like you said, there was more story to this match than the men's match. The men's was much more of a spot fest, but the ending of this match, I thought that was
creative as hell,
fantastic.
Yeah,
we haven't seen an ending like that.
Yep.
To have them handcuffed through the ladder. Spoilers, we're 6 days past, but just in case, spoilers.
Put it across the bottom. Spoiler warning.
Having them handcuffed through the ladder and Io climbing over Bayley to get that briefcase. That was perfect. I have no complaints about this match. An incredible time. I loved it.
Yeah.
And even Bayley, she even kind of gave a look like I'd have done the same thing. Initially, because she was so shocked, what are you doing? Your handcuffs is together. For those that don't know, that haven't seen it yet, the reason the handcuffs got incorporated is because Zoe and Trish were trying to take out Becky. So for most of the match, Becky had handcuffs on her because they were that you called it last week, JPJ. The Zoe Trish Becky situation kind of took care of itself for most of the match. And then that's what happened. That's what I had picked Io Sky because I like the idea of the damage control wrinkle now. I'm interested to see how Bayley plays it going forward. But yeah, I was saying that Trish spot where she kind of fell off the top and just kind of landed on her ass. I was like, oh, that didn't look like she wanted to do that, but she seems okay. So good on Trish for getting in there, mixing it up, taking some spots. I thought Zoe looked good for most of it too. I really enjoyed what Zoe brought to the table. That was my with my heart pick because I just thought that would have been cool in a way of thank you, Trish. I've got the Money in the Bank now. And then I thought she would do something corny, give it to her, because she's a sweetheart.
You did.
So now that we've got both Money in the Bank winners, before you tell your piece, I want you to think about it while JPJ talks about the match. Who do you think's most intriguing with the case? Is it Damian or is it Zoe? Or, I'm sorry, is it Io? But go ahead and tell how you thought about the match a little bit before we answer that question.
I mean, I think they're both intriguing, to be honest with you. I really do. I like the idea of Io and Asuka. I like the idea of Io and Asuka for the title. Yeah. I would love Io to potentially cash in on Asuka, but I do want Io to hold it. I know, she has already, like I said, she's had it for 4 or 5 days, and she's already, we were talking about it earlier. She's already the second longest women's Money in the Bank holder. However, I do like the prospect of her and Asuka. I want them to have that one-on-one match, and if it were to be I think that would work. I would like that a lot. But I think they're both intriguing. I don't really have one that I feel over the other. I just feel like I like both the winners, and I like kind of what they're going to go. But if I had to pick one, I would pick Io. I would pick Io for me.
I think they'll do a better job with the Damian Priest run. And that's only because you've seen how they've treated the women's Money in the Bank almost like a hot potato the years before. So I think they'll put a little bit more effort into Priests.
Yeah.
But out of the two, I'm hoping that we definitely see Io cash in successfully.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. 100%. 100%.
I will throw this. There hasn't been an unsuccessful women's cash in yet. They're at 100%. That worries me. Because they gotta pull the trigger on a loss sometime. I hope it's not Io, but I hope if they ever decide to pull the trigger on a unsuccessful women's cash in, I would hope it's somebody who's established who could take that loss and be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So save it for next year, Vince.
Yeah. We got Mikey in the chat saying that he's excited to see what Senor Money in the Bank does. I do like that, Senor Money in the Bank. But yeah, I really, really like this women's match. And then another match that I liked was for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I thought Seth Rollins and Finn Balor had a damn good match. And like we kind of mentioned earlier, I liked Damian Priest towards the end of this match. And I like the wrinkle that they did with him to kind of, further along the dissension with him and Finn. I loved when Finn was going for the coup de grace, how Damian Priest stood up out of the chair, and that caused Finn to look over, and that was the part of the distraction, the second of timing he needed to kind of lose it there towards the end. I just liked his but I thought, I would think we were expecting this to be a banger, and I thought it was a very, very good match between these two. And I'm glad. I've liked this story. I've liked them referencing, WWE for a long time didn't reference past things all the time. And it would be annoying as a viewer who watched for years and years. You'd be like, hey, we all know this. Can you mention this? And they wouldn't a lot. But I loved how much they talked about their first match for the Universal Championship and how Finn won that match. Mm-hmm. And he got hurt, obviously, and things would be different if he didn't. You know what I mean? So I loved how they just the history of these guys, and I thought that they lived up to the feud with how good this match was. I really do. Pluggo, why don't you go first, and then we'll end this one with Blair before we dive into this main event.
Yeah, this was a good match. I think this delivered everything we had hoped for, and then the Damian Priest, because they called it back because Finn kind of cost Priest. So, yeah, it was a boom. Now he's got the briefcase. So he's sitting out there just looming over this thing. I honestly thought that he was going to – I think they were going to do a quick Money in the Bank with the men's just because why not get the shock factor. But Seth's got a little more run with it. I thought it was a good match overall. Seth and Finn, I could watch those two wrestle all the time. I really could. I enjoy it. I enjoy all the stories that they've told from day one, the whole Universal title thing. So – for me, I had a good time with this one. Seth won. He's fine. Damian will cash in eventually. Hopefully he doesn't cash in for the United States title or something. So.
No.
Hey, let's be honest. The Money in the Bank has not been treated very well over the last few years. It's been a little rough.
He's eyeing up that NXT North American title.
Yeah. He's like, I'm coming back to claim my North American title.
Here's my thing.
I want the hot tub days with the women trips.
Yeah. I think Triple H knows that. I really do. I think Triple H knows that the Money in the Bank winners the last 3-4 years or so. Like I thought Big E was fine, but even the cash in was cool. We were all happy for Big E, but there wasn't like it. I just feel like Triple H knows that the Money in the Bank cash-ins and like the story of the Money in the Bank winners, that was the thing for me. It was like WWE would fall into this trope where, they had the Money in the Bank briefcase, so every match they're going to be in, they're going to lose because they got the briefcase, so they're going to cash in and be champion at some point. And you would see like the performers who held the briefcases didn't matter until they cashed in, and it was like, okay, cool, like, all right, this is the new champ now. But like, I think Triple H knows that he needs to revitalize the perception. The Money in the Bank matches are always going to be dope. They're always going to be good. Multi-person ladder matches, they're going to be fun. They're going to be exciting. A cash-in is always going to be fun and exciting. But like, I feel like the early half of the Money in the Bank matches and winners, they had stories that like happened until they cashed in. And I feel like the last handful of years, they
if Trips doesn't,
the story was that they just had the briefcase. That was the story. You know what I mean? So that's how I
completely forgot that Big E had won the Money in the Bank briefcase.
That's what I'm saying. And that was a great moment. And like, the reign after that, different
story.
Was the
year that was the year that they crowd pleased the shit out of it because it was him and Liv.
Yeah, and Liv cashed in that night, which
and
was
everybody
a common
was just
trend.
Dope. Everybody was just bonkers about it. And then Big E, unfortunately, he got hurt. And they did that. The reason we forget about the Big E cash in, and this is no disrespect to him, is they did that goofy like Roman got COVID or something.
Yeah.
So they like decided, day one, they decided to do that like 5-person scramble and just haphazardly put it on Brock, even though Roman was back like 2 weeks later. Yeah. It was weird. And then that's when they unified the belts. So he kind of got a short end of the stick there, which, and then they had the Otis stuff with Miz, and it's been a mess.
Yeah. So like, if I were to ask you guys, what is the last cash in that you truly like remember? Like, oh man, what a moment.
Rollins? WrestleMania?
Do you know how long ago that was?
Yeah.
7 years ago. This was WrestleMania 31. Next year is 39, right? Or is next year 40?
Next year's 40. This was 39.
Yeah. That was 31. WrestleMania 31. I thought that Ziggler was that after Rollins?
That was before.
That was before Rollins. Yeah. So it probably is like. Is there another like super duper memorable cash in since Seth 8 years ago?
I would always like the Rollins one is a huge one to me, but like that Ziggler
Carmella's
one at
good.
the time was massive. Yeah. Like the Ziggler one, like the reaction that crowd had that night, like Ziggler was a superstar with that reaction.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a great one. The Carmella one sticks out, Hab guy, and Ophelia said Carmella earlier because she's the one that held it for so long. Don't get me wrong, like I thought the Alexa Bliss cash in was cool when she cashed in during the Nia Ronda match. I thought that was fine. I didn't hate Nikki Cross's cash in the next night on Raw on Charlotte Flair. I thought that was cool, but then they didn't do anything with it after that. She lost the belt within like maybe a month or two. She didn't keep it for very long. So yeah, you're right. I think Trips is going to revitalize. I wouldn't hate Damian holding that thing for a while and picking a spot.
Yeah,
maybe taking a piece from his old boss Edge and being like this calculated, opportunist and just holding it and just waiting, using it, hold up some power over Finn. The women's side, you can do a lot with Bayley, the damage control thing. EO can just I think EO could just hang on to that thing and you keep building her up into a, bona fide main event player. And I think you got a good thing going here. So,
yeah, I agree. All right. Well, then, wait a minute. Did I skip? No, wait. Hold on. No, it was after this. Wait, did I skip the whole? My God, it was after the Cody match. We skipped the John Cena thing. John Cena showed up.
Couldn't see him, right, Blair?
I was like, I thought it was after this match, so I was saving it, and then I'm looking through my notes. I'm like, what the hell is the Cena thing? Anyway.
Well, the Cody match was such a bummer. They had to get the crowd back up
because I was like, what a waste of my what a waste of time. I blacked out. I blacked out in real time as well because I forgot that John Cena comes out. Pleasant surprise. That was a pleasant surprise. Everyone liked it. I hope that was a good time. John Cena comes out and he's cutting a promo, basically saying that he is there to try to get a WrestleMania to go to England, which I think most of us are all in on. No pun intended. But I think most of us are. Well, we're going to talk about that because I think there is a direct correlation to why this promo happened that we can dive in for a little bit if we want to.
Just say it. It's because somebody sold 75,000.
Yeah, it's because
tickets.
AEW has sold out 70-something thousand tickets for a no matches announced show. That is the most wrestling tickets ever in England. And WWE was like, oh, shit. All right, we should do a Mania here then, I guess. And everyone's like, ugh. You get those people on the internet. Oh, it has nothing to do. It has everything to do with it. You're a moron. Anyway, I digress. But that's why that happened. That's why this has happened. But John Cena came out. Good promo, good babyface promo talking about WrestleMania in England. And he is interrupted by Grayson Waller. Good spot for Grayson Waller here. Grayson Waller says, hey, I think WrestleMania should be in Australia. And the crowd's like, F you, buddy. We want it here. And that's it. And it ended up with Grayson Waller kind of attacking Cena from behind, and then Cena hit the AA on Grayson Waller, and that was it. But I thought this was fun. It was good to see Cena. That was a nice surprise. I don't think anybody was expecting him to be there at all. So him showing up was pretty cool. If this leads to, I think a SummerSlam match with Grayson Waller and John Cena is a good spot for Grayson. Is John Cena going to be in the part of his career where he's like putting dudes over? He's putting the young guys over? Is he going to?
Should.
I think this is going to lead to nothing. I think this was Grayson Waller's a new fresh face. Go in there, take an AA, because who cares? You're newer. It's not a big deal. And you get to have a moment with John Cena, which is good for your career. So, but I thought this was fun.
Yeah, I think it stirred up a lot of speculation, and I think Lawrence, he tweeted out that like if they did actually do WrestleMania in England, it'd be great for everyone in North America because by 8 o'clock the shows would be done.
Yes,
and like, hey, sign me up for that. I'll watch.
Yes,
well, I will watch afternoon wrestling all day. You want to tell me? Oh, you're starting at 3 in the afternoon. Oh.
Full disclosure, man. Like, either WrestleMania falls around my wedding anniversary, so sometimes we got stuff going on. So it's like, so if it gets on at 8, I can still take Mrs. Pluggo out to dinner and be like, honey, just after Mania, let's go celebrate our anniversary. And 2, the last 2 WrestleManias have shown my old age here. I start to doze off on that Sunday. I'm just like, I'm doing.
We all gotta wake up,
and then we gotta wake up early. Yeah,
all of us
3
got to wake up early the next day.
Sign me up.
I love the Saturday shows. I know Mania is 2 days now, and it seems like that's going to be the trend, which I like the 2 days. But yeah, that Sunday sometimes can be tough. If it's late, you're doing a show till 11. I obviously I went to this WrestleMania, but WrestleMania 35, Becky Lynch was walking down the aisle at 12:21 a.m. Like she was walking down the aisle at 12:21 a.m. Yeah. So like
that's East Coast. So
crazy.
It's too late.
All right, we then had the Bloodline Civil War. It was Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline, versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso. Man, they're killing it. They're killing it with this whole thing. This whole thing was spectacular. The drama, everything involved, which we will dive in and we'll talk about. But at the end of this match, we saw for the first time in 3.5 years, Roman Reigns took a pinfall. Jay Uso pins Roman Reigns, where it all started. This whole thing started. And I didn't notice it right away. I saw it on Twitter later. Obviously, we're going to talk about the other stuff that happened in the match. But at the end, when Jay did the kick out and did Roman the low blow there, Roman did that to Jay during their first match. And I did not know that. And I saw that on Twitter, like the side by side. And I was like, sons of bitches. Sons of bitches. I was like, look at you. Look at you. That's why I love it. That's why I love that stuff. This match was fantastic. Very, very good. Long-term storytelling. Yes, Dustin. It can work if you do it right. And this bloodline story, it's had its peaks and valleys. Don't get me wrong. It hasn't been, it's had its peaks and valleys, but this bloodline story is tremendous. Very, very good. And it's going to continue, but I loved this match. Everything about it. Blair, I'll let you can kick this puppy off, but man, what a match.
The storytelling in this match was absolutely phenomenal. I sat there, I watched it, and a few days later, I went on to Cage Match. I was looking up something about the card, and I looked at the time for this match, and it was 34 minutes. Mm-hmm. It did not feel like 34 minutes at all. Like, you were so encapsulated by the storytelling in this match, by the action, by the drama, that like it went by so quickly. It was like watching like a movie, but it didn't, there was no time, like you were just engulfed in it. I thought this was fantastic. I mean, they hooked me back on watching the pay-per-views just because of the Bloodline storyline. And this match was nothing short of incredible. So I thought it was great. I loved the near falls. I don't want to get too far into it, but the kickouts in it. There was the double pin attempt by Roman on both Usos that I think everybody thought that's how it was going to end. And when the Usos kicked out and the crowd just went absolutely ballistic, I mean, we always talk about moments in wrestling, and that is right up there with them. Like, this was just a fantastic piece of work.
Yeah, it really was. Pluggo?
Yeah, you could just tell by the end, like the Usos have had like all-timers, tag team matches. You talk about New Day, Usos, some of their classics. But like you could just tell when they kicked out of that Stack'em spot, you're just like, this is all fumes. This is all heart. They refused. The crowd was 100% behind him. They refused to take the L to Roman. Roman got what was coming to him. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I just like, Sami Zayn was so stoked too. He was pumping that up this Roman loss.
Yeah, I mean the crowd was
but it was just great. I don't know what they do. We'll find out tomorrow on SmackDown. They'll probably have talk about. I don't know what you do now from here. You called it a civil war, but was this just brothers got to fight? Let's figure it out type shit, and they did it. Or what's next for Jimmy and Jay? What's next for Roman? Like. Because, he doesn't have anybody lined up to challenge him. So will it be Jay? Will it be Jimmy? Does it a triple threat? That would be a cool little wrinkle for me if you put Jimmy and Jay both in the match. Solo, make it a four-way,
Well, I did want to ask because I do think so the Usos win, obviously, but I at some point Solo's going to probably bounce, right? And could they do? Is that the SummerSlam? Like, do they go to that immediately where Solo is even now like, okay, we lost. Like, I'm leaving here. Like, I expect Roman to feud with all of them singly, or at least. Yeah, I expect a Solo.
There's more intrigue. There's more intrigue leaving with the Usos winning. There's more intrigue going into Friday than if Roman and Solo would have won. So that's why I'm wondering. What do you do? What's your next? Yeah. What's your SummerSlam play? I wouldn't be opposed to all four of them. Like, why not? You're all bloodline. Let's have a bloodline fatal four-way match
for the title.
Sure. I don't know who wins it. Blair, you got any thoughts?
I would like the world title to be.
Maybe we do Solo Sikoa on a pole match.
So,
I mean, there's been worse stipulations. So
yeah.
I think you're getting the Uso versus Reigns at SummerSlam, but I do ultimately think that at some point.
Do you think it's Jay? You think it's Jay and Roman?
Yeah. Sorry, I get the Usos confused. So if you would have said Jimmy, I would have said as well. But yeah, I think you do get Jay and Roman at SummerSlam, and I think that I could see Survivor Series being that when you get the Roman Solo match. Like, I think they drag it out until then. Then ultimately Solo wants to be at the head of the table. And that's when I think you see those two split off.
Who dethrones Roman? Ultimately. If you drag it out to
who beats him
SummerSlam
for the title.
Yeah, who's taking? Because who's taking that undisputed Universal title off of him? Because we had always said Cody was the guy. But we're so far off of Cody right now, though. Where
I still think it's Cody.
They're on different brands. So you got to wait this out till Mania next year, essentially.
Yes. I think Roman can lose the Bloodline story,
but keep the belts.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
Did he really?
Unless they were, yeah. Like we have to see what happens tomorrow night. I don't think this is the end of the story, but the Civil War could be. I don't know. I still think it's Cody. I still think it's Cody that eventually takes the title off of him.
But then that's going to be a while.
Oh yeah, it would have to be.
That's all.
He would have.
That's
to
all I'm saying. He'd have to win the Rumble. He'd have to show up on SmackDown. Then they'd have to do their thing again. And we do it again at 40.
Yeah, and then what Dustin says here, he goes, if they really want to stretch it out, you do 3 singles matches with Jimmy, Jay, Solo at different pay-per-views, culminating at Survivor Series or the Rumble, perhaps, when the Bloodline ultimately ends. So, I mean, yeah, maybe they do this and Roman beats them all.
But then going in that Roman's winning all 3 of those. I'm just thinking in terms of
the Bloodline storyline should probably end with Jay. I feel like Jay has been the main character of the Bloodline story. I really do. I think it started with him. I think Jay has been the central figure of the whole Bloodline story as a whole. All the tough emotional things that happen, all the big decisions that have had to been made, those have all been on Jay's shoulders. Jay has been the guy. And I think everyone else, so I think ultimately
Mikey's talking Priest. You got him at the,
you can have Priest cash in after. What if they do a 4-way or something, and then
I think you can't win the Bloodline story and keep that belt on Roman. Like I just don't see how optically. We won the Bloodline. We're the ones, but you still have all the gold. Like it just doesn't sit with me.
I would agree. So, but then you have Ryan Sully in the chat saying, but when does Rocky show up? That is still, most people I think thought that might have happened this past year, but it didn't.
I don't think it ever happens.
And I don't think I think I'm kind of more, the longer it goes, the longer I think it's never happened.
Look, Mania season is now XFL season, baby. That's bigger than Mania.
Like
Sea Dragons
that ever because that would be the ultimate. But again, Roman would have to win that match. The Rock shouldn't be winning that world title like at all. Like, in my opinion. So like Roman would have to win that match too. But that would be the ultimate, Roman coming out. I'm the head of the table. I'm the best in my family to ever do this. No one's been better than me. And then if you smell hits and the crowd goes ape shit, and that would be a moment in time. We would talk about that moment forever. But I think, like I said, the longer it goes, I don't think it's going to happen. I want it to, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Ryan saying that he went back to Fast and the Furious, so anything is possible. Yeah. Him and Vin Diesel, they're not buds. They're not buds.
Let's do what they say in the business. We'll put a bow on this. Just give your quick, what'd you think about Money in the Bank overall? And we can move on. Blair?
I thought it was a very good show. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So I support it. I approve.
Oh yeah, me too. I thought it was a very, very.
You got 2.5 beards saying it's.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We do have Mikey. Last thing he says: do you think this was always the plan, or do you think they just went this route because The Rock didn't do WrestleMania?
The Rock didn't do WrestleMania. Yeah. I think if you think you have The Rock in the bag, you change your plans. But if you don't, I mean, this could have been the plan if Rock didn't show. Mm-hmm. If you couldn't get The Rock, this was the plan all along. But if you get The Rock, this doesn't work. Obviously, I think you're going a different direction.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, you want to do an ad read now? We can do an ad read now, and then we can talk maybe some AEW or something like that.
Hey Blair, we're in the midst of greatness with this ad read on Saturdays.
I'm very excited for it.
We struggle on Saturdays.
We butcher it, so
it's so bad.
Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, the ad read?
So on Saturday mornings, we struggle sometimes. I think the first show of For Exposure, we didn't have the ad read available, and I just winged it. So we're pumped for this. Or we don't keep the graphic up long enough. Like Saturday mornings is a wild time over here at Love Wrestling.
Okay.
So
cool.
We're excited to see this.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Pressure's on.
Appreciate the love. No, the pressure is never on. I don't feel pressure. All right. I want to talk about BetStamp. They are our newest brand partner here at Love Wrestling. And today's podcast is brought to you by the BetStamp app, which is helping thousands of people win at sports betting for free. The same way travelers use Google Flights or Expedia to find the best prices, bettors can now use the BetStamp app to do the same. When you place a bet, the odds given by a sportsbook will determine how much you can possibly win, even when betting on the same outcome. Different sportsbooks will offer varying payouts, and these differences can be huge. Thankfully, BetStamp allows you to easily line shop for the most profitable odds across all sportsbooks. You can click on any matchup and instantly see all the different odds for game lines, player props, and even future bets. Line shopping is the simplest way to find an edge in sports betting and maximize your chances of winning long term. On average, BetStamp app users win an extra $1,000 plus yearly just by this line shopping feature. You can find the BetStamp app on the Apple Store, the Google Play Store, or through your browser at www.betstamp.app. That is www.betstamp.app. To access all these benefits, sign up using the promo code you see right on your screen right there, Love Wrestling, and you can start your journey to successful sports betting today. If you forget to use the code upon sign up, do not worry. You can always enter the code in your BetStamp account settings afterwards. So please go check out our friends BetStamp in the Apple Store, the Google Play Store, or through your browser at www.betstamp.app. Boom.
Taking notes for Saturday.
I love how the video ran seamlessly. Like, I don't know how to play it like that. So I mean, I'm enthralled by this. Just taken back.
That Saturday, go click it again. My face is up, like my face is in the ad. I'm like, click it again.
Like, I feel like a smitten 15-year-old kid, like, you know, like with his high school crush, just like watching.
It's not often you're in the midst of greatness.
Quick answer, JPJ. What's your favorite match of all time?
Of all time,
just quick, just pick one. One of your favorites.
Bret Hart, Stone Cold, WrestleMania 13.
Okay, that was like us watching Bret Hart, Stone Cold. Like that was us. We were just like, this is
way too much credit.
This is the greatest thing we've ever seen. You are the Bret Hart and Stone Cold of ad reads, son.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. AEW.
Before we talk about AEW, don't forget we have a show at 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, we do.
On Twitch. They're covering tonight's ROH. It's a debut episode, so please go show them some love over there on the Twitch, twitch.tv/LoveWrestling, breaking down Ring of Honor at 10 o'clock. So you'll leave this lovely YouTube channel. You'll head over to our wonderful Twitch, show them some love. I'm going to pop in that chat, say what's up to Kyle and the gang.
Yeah. I will be in that chat as well. So come by, say hi.
That's what you call
even if you don't know much about Ring of Honor, you don't watch Ring of Honor, you can learn some new stuff. You can learn something. Kyle knows Ring of Honor. He knows Ring of Honor history maybe better than anybody that I follow on Twitter. So it should be a real good show. And me and Pluggo are thrilled to be the leader.
Thrilled to bring them into this to the Love Wrestling 100%. Team. That's what you call a segue, because ROH is owned by AEW.
True. Real quick before we fully jump to AEW, if you guys have not seen the Rhea Ripley Natalya match from Raw for the women's title, you should go do that, because that match kicked ass. So I just wanted to say that was a great match. I also loved the Cody tease of going after Seth and the belt before Brock came back, and we obviously know we're getting Cody and Brock again at SummerSlam. But I thought Cody coming out and standing across from Seth with their history, and Seth with being the champion, I like that, because Cody should eventually go for that. Why wouldn't he go for that belt against Seth? Why wouldn't he? But all right, AEW.
W. Drew Nicholas in the house saying on trust your word on that one.
No, that
JPJ.
match was very good. That match was very good.
You're not watching? You're not watching, Drew?
Drew has very openly not been feeling the WWE.
The dubs,
much.
the dubs.
But I
It's
think
tough. It's tough. I can understand that. It's tough
100%.
sometimes.
I don't fault anyone.
That's why we
but
talk
all right.
about that independent wrestling on the weekends. Because
That is true. Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Oh,
on
for
Love Wrestling.
exposure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good show.
It's all right. It's pretty solid.
Yeah,
There's a couple of
not bad.
solid dudes. Well, there's one really great stud on that program, and then there's some jackass with a beard.
Wait a minute.
That's me. I'm the jackass with
all
the
right.
beard. Come on.
Oh, all right.
Sometimes you're clean shaven. You were clean shaven last week.
I was not. I always have a beard.
Oh, did I miss it?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen Blair cleanly, like fully clean shaven.
Always been a beard.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, and this isn't me shame, I just don't consider that like a
beard
beard.
shaming.
It's
That's
like
exactly
it's
what
like
you're doing.
stubble. Oh wow.
No,
I'm not
that-
beard
maybe-
shame. We don't facial hair shame. I just called that
You just
something
did.
different. I call it something different. That's not shaming. I said that's stubble. It's like a. All right, I can't tell.
Maybe TY was right.
Maybe get closer to the camera so I can see that. Oh, okay, there it is. Maybe it's the lighting. I don't know.
It's probably the lighting. This is
word.
a very
What is going on
bright
here?
ambiance
My
here.
word.
We'll
Lord.
settle this on Saturday.
Son of a bee.
Every
And-
time I come on this show, which is my show, it's our show. Like I get just ridiculed by everyone. Oh,
That's not true. Anyway,
it's not.
no, it is. It is 100% true.
Come on.
AEW Dynamite took place in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada last
Mhm.
night. The boss man was there. He was in the building. Ophelia was in the building as well.
Jack
plus
Pride, our scrambled
Jack
champion.
Pride, yes,
he's
was
in
also, plus a lot of our other friends in the Edmonton area. Rich King, I think, was there as well.
Mhm.
I know Pluggo will say, but Rich King.
What the hell was that?
No, you and Rich King
I'm
are buds?
I'm just sitting here.
No, I'm just kidding.
If you wanted my honest opinion, yeah, I'm surprised he was there taking time out of torturing my life to take in some fantastic professional wrestling. So good
No,
for
it's
him.
good.
Hopefully
and
he
it was-
learned a move or two.
Yeah, and it was a good
There.
show. It was a good show. If you want to hear like much more in-depth analysis of AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision, Drew
And
Nicholas who's in the
Rampage.
chat, and Rampage. We do talk about the big things that happen on Rampage as well. Drew Nicholas and I on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. we have a show called Firmly AEW that you should go check out over on twitch.tv/lovewrestlingca.
Yes.
It's a good time. It's a good time. But we're going to dive into a little bit of Dynamite. I thought it was a good episode of Dynamite. I enjoyed it a lot. We had a lot of blind eliminator tag team tournament stuff here, which I liked. We had the Ruby Soho Dr. Britt Baker match, which I thought was good. I thought the main event with Kenny Omega and Wheeler Yuta was very fun. But I want to lead off because I am digging, and I know it's not what started the show. I'm digging the Adam Cole MJF stuff, guys. I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I am loving it. And I need to start with that because it's just, I watched that whole thing and I was just smiling. I was like, this is what I love it. Oh, anyway.
I want Adam Cole to be the one guy that MJ. This is genuine. Like this is. I know it's not because it's MJF, but I just want it. Like 15 years from now, he's still being incredibly nice to Adam Cole, and like I just want that.
You can see that MJF is slowly winning over Adam Cole.
Mhm.
And Adam Cole hates every fucking second of it. He's like, I don't want to like this guy. And we've all known people in our lives that we've worked with or have been family friend. We've all had somebody that we're like, I don't like this guy. But then with time, you're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh my God, I love it. And the match was great. The tag team match they had was very good. Yeah, man. I'm digging. I thought the segments last week in the back where MJF popping out of the car. Hey man, what's up? What's going on? Good job getting sick. And for being doorman. Why didn't I think of that? Like I just everything about it. Everything about it. It's funny. They're clearly two great professional wrestlers. Them as a team, they should be the favorites. They should be the favorites.
Yeah.
By far. And I just, oh man. See, this is a way where everyone was going into it and everyone was like, oh, here we go. Can they coexist stuff? Or like, oh, here we go. Putting the two guys who don't like each other. But this is good. This is really, really good. Man, I love it. It just makes me smile. It truly makes me smile. But yeah, there were a lot of other good things on this show that I like. The show did start off with a different, and another team that I think should be Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. That's a good team. That's a good team right there that was put together.
Can I ask before you go crazy on talking about this card? Can I ask? I've been wanting to ask. I've been wanting to chomp at the bit about this. This is my Pluggo's
Twitch on. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was cool too. My one last week it was the Jungle Boy shit. This week it's how does Jeff Jarrett keep getting these spots?
I'm gonna like that though. I think him and Matt Hardy are gonna be fun.
No, I don't care.
I think that'll be pretty good. Why not?
Because he gets all the spots all the time. Is he contractually obligated to be on every AEW promoted episode of anything all the time?
He wasn't on last night. His name was just mentioned. He wasn't on the show last night.
But he's in the tournament. He's on my screen. He's on the show. Just because you're not in the show doesn't mean you're not on the show. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how he keeps getting spots. I do not have
a problem with him and Matt Hardy being a team in the tournament. You don't know who they're facing. They might not even win a match.
Maybe they're facing Jeff Hardy. That'd be interesting.
Maybe. That'd be cool. Maybe it's Jeff Hardy. Maybe the other team is Jeff Hardy and
Jay Lethal.
Yes.
Satnam Singh.
Yes. Why not?
Don't try to let him sway you.
Somebody, who cares?
I'm just saying, do I need a Jeff Jarrett detox?
I love Jeff Jarrett. I think he's cool.
I have no problem. Yeah, I have no problem with what Jeff Jarrett is doing on AEW.
I was never a Jeff Jarrett guy ever. It didn't get it.
The fact that he uses the Impact theme too, it's incredible.
Yeah. Look,
give him a title. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm on a rampage. I'm on a rampage right now. That's right. But Jeff Jarrett will probably show up on Rampage and wrestle for 45 of the 60 minutes of the show.
We could only be so lucky.
Oh my God.
Give us the chosen one.
This just in, 4 exposures.
Maybe saying Jeff Jarrett is gold eternal.
4 exposures turning into the Jeff Jarrett show.
The Jeff Jarrett power. Yeah, the Jeff Jarrett appreciation hour or something like that. You can call it.
Don't get me wrong. Sure, he's a good wrestler and all, but I'm kind of over it.
He's been wrestling for 40 years.
I'm over it. So what? I don't need to see it anymore. He can go do something else.
I got no problem.
Fine. You keep doing you. I'm gonna do me.
Fair enough. We saw Swerve and Keith Lee team once again to take on Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. It was clear from the jump that Swerve and Keith Lee did not want to be teammates. I thought Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy were kind of a good-looking team here. I think they could easily win this thing too.
Drew, don't put that into the ether, bro. Don't start.
Jeff Jarrett.
No, don't do that.
That's what
Drew. I love you too much for you to be putting that into the open like that. That'll become a thing.
The
Jajaz.
Swerve taking the pin. Darby Allin pinning Swerve to win here. And then afterwards, Keith Lee was friendly with Darby and Orange Cassidy. I thought this match was pretty good. I was expecting more of a story between Swerve and Keith Lee in it, and I feel like it was just kind of – there was clear, miscommunication and stuff, but it wasn't really, anything giant. Nobody walked out on anybody. There wasn't, an attack or anything like that. It was very just – I don't know. I feel like they just lost, and I was like, all right, well, cool. I guess that we're not going to ever – could they fight each other afterwards so we can get a one-on-one match? Or are we just what? There was no fall. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just felt weird. It was they're back together. Cool. Now they're going to do something with it. And they just felt like they just didn't do anything.
Quit it in the chat, you guys. I'm not saying it no more, baby. Ryan, Drew, let it go. Stop. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't like it.
I thought that was the best Keith Lee has looked.
Yeah, no,
I agree.
Real good.
Like,
I agree.
Working with Darby and Orange Cassidy for that little segment there was great. So I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
And even the one thing I need Swerve to go on like a little bit of like a heater, like give him some wins.
Mm-hmm.
I want so much more for him.
Well,
didn't they just release his like one of the mogul Empire, the face tattoo guy? They just released him.
Was it Trench?
Trench. So that's
they
like,
got rid of him. Yeah.
Yeah, because that didn't hit well, and you're right. Like the Swerve, we know how money is. This Keith Lee Swerve thing, we're finally going to get the one-on-one match. I think ultimately you give.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully
we get it.
Yeah,
give Swerve that heater run that we all know he's capable of, and remind us why he's there. Like, because he's so good, and he was such a. I remember when they signed Swerve, like. There was these just conversations of like he could be a future world champ. Like he's got to be a guy that you could build like a Rampage around. And they kind of fallen off with him. But this Keith Lee stuff, like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get this match going. That'll be a banger. And then let's get Swerve on a run, son.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like
and
see that.
Ryan. Oh my gosh. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you did.
You act like nobody razzes me. I'm not saying that. They know how it works on this program. I will not say things unless I'm contractually obligated to say them.
Yeah.
And by contractually obligated, you got to pay me.
It's all right. It's fair. Well, speaking of Swerve, we then saw a vignette for Nick Wayne involving Darby Allin.
Yes. Blair's on the phone with his agent trying to get off this show.
No, that's not. But Nick Wayne will be fighting Swerve, making his AEW debut next week on Dynamite. And we heard that he was offered a contract when he was a 16-year-old kid by Darby Allin. That's what they showed in the vignette. Mm-hmm. And then fast forward, he is now 18 years old. I believe he's graduated high school. And he is making his AEW debut next week, and he's going to fight Swerve. They have had some great matches, I think a few of them, on the independent scene that you can find on the YouTubes if you wanted to go check it out. I think, I mean, when we talk about we want Swerve to go on a heater, we all, I think.
No, but this is the one where I think you got to establish Nick Wayne.
But
right?
do you, though? He's 18.
I don't.
Can you just have a really, really good match, but lose and hey,
yes,
good luck, kid.
But that's traditional.
Welcome to the big leagues, kid.
That's a traditional move. But I also think the way that they have bumped this up, promote what?
Pluggo, you know the rule, man.
What's the rule again? So we have a super chat from our friend Ryan Sullivan of the Mark Order podcast. And it says it's for me, for Pluggo. It says for Pluggo to say, I want to see the JJAS. I'm not sure what that means, but he wants me to see the JJAS.
Yeah.
What does that stand for? I'm not sure.
If you want to guarantee that your comment gets shown on the screen, just send us a super chat like Ryan Sullivan just did. Thank you for that super chat, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, but
thanks,
we will
Drew.
read it as long as it, don't say anything inappropriate. Let's be chill here.
But if you want to say that Tom Brady's the worst quarterback of all time,
first of all,
JPJ will say that.
Hey, that is just a blatant lie.
Hey, so but as I want to say,
I'll take the money. I mean, if you want to throw me money, I'll take it.
As I was saying, for some reason with Nick Wayne, and this is maybe because I paid.
I don't think Nick Wayne's beaten Swerve.
But I'm saying my argument's sake is Blair and I spent a lot of time Googling Nick Wayne, ogling, whatever you want to say, over him on Saturdays because he's fantastic.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. They've put so much hype into the kid where it's like he's coming. They gave him this big video package. They gave him all this hype, this story. have him shock the world, have him put him on the map. Like, I understand if he wins, if he takes
Swerve, put him on the map.
Would you?
We all know
your debut
how
match
good Swerve is, but if you are a casual AEW fan, has Swerve been presented to you?
All right.
That if he beats Swerve, that puts, you know what I mean?
But let me ask you this. What does more for you? Like, do you go, oh, I don't know who this kid is that just beat Swerve. Let me look into him. It's kind of the Action Andrade thing. Andretti. He beats Jericho. Everybody all of a sudden is like, who's this?
And I love that when it happened.
Right. Who's this guy? But if Jericho would have beat him and shook his hand and said, good on you,
Nick
kid.
Wayne is a higher level than...
That's what I'm saying. So if Andretti's beating Jericho, you're telling me
I can see Blair's brain.
Go, Blair. Go.
Yeah,
go.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on the kind of match they have, because you can, like, those two should be going out there and just putting on an absolute banger. God, like Dynamite used to start off right off the bat, that 20-minute just crackerjack, full of action, get the crowd hyped. You do that with Nick Wayne and Swerve, and they have done a match like that before, where it's just been an absolute banger, a 5-star classic. I think you can have that. You can have Nick Wayne lose, but I think a lot of it is going to be the presentation. Like, you know what? Tony should be shelling out the money for the rights to that TI song, because if like a name song hits right away, it's like, okay, he's a big deal. Yeah. Like, don't have just a generic theme. Have what you know, have the crowd get into it. And I think that is even going to help, like, for people unfamiliar with Nick Wayne, you hear a popular song, okay, there's something about this guy. So I think you have that. You let those two go out, put on a match that they can do, and win or lose. If you do that, I think that, you know, you're going to have people gravitate towards Nick Wayne, especially with the story they're telling just about his history.
Yeah, and I think there's a way, and Hab Guy said it a few times in the chat. I think there's a way where he goes out there, he has a fantastic match with Swerve, almost beats him a few times, ends up losing, and then you kind of watch Nick Wayne grow from that on the screen, and you build up Nick Wayne kind of slowly, and the crowd will be like, yo, this kid is like a fighter. Like, this kid never quits. He never does this. And then eventually it's like, oh shit, this kid is a big deal. And then he gets, you know, I think he's only 18 years old. You got time.
I understand that. I think both of you are right. I don't think he's going to win, but I also think it is a bigger deal, and it does more for Nick Wayne to win, to get a win, to sneak out a win against Swerve, and to put him on that map, so to speak, because again, we've seen the whole, oh, he took his first loss. Good on you, kid. We'll get him next time, and let's build him back up. Instead of let's just run out the gate with this kid. The kid's clearly in their plans and in their future plans, because he's pretty much on the independent scene, giving up every title he's had outside of the GCW titles. He's clear to go. And I have a feeling that the GCW titles might be, the tag titles with him and Oliver could be coming up soon, where they're just like, because I think he's getting the grab, he's doing it all. So why not? I just hate that it's Swerve. Because if you look at who else, if you're going to build them up, like, he's going to, who's he beating on this roster, right?
I think eventually he should beat Darby Allin.
He should eventually,
I think that's something that should happen.
That'd be fun.
Down the line.
Look, I think he's going to lose too, but I think it would make more, because it would be, for me as a casual, I'd go, who's this kid that just beat Swerve? Like, let me figure this out. Swerve just beat some kid. Like, okay, that was business as usual.
Baby, thank you for the.
We gotta screen these. We gotta screen these super chats.
I appreciate that, my friend. Remember, friends, if you want your comment read on the screen, it has to, you know.
What's going on? All right,
but
you want me to read it?
Subscribe, click the bell for notifications. But yeah.
Blair will never return.
Nick Wayne wins, and Jeff Jarrett offers him a spot in Jajas. Jajas.
A spot in Jajas?
I would absolutely hate it.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd have to add Nick Wayne to my list of, like, I don't roll with you anymore.
If Nick Wayne gets an opportunity to be side by side with Jeff Jarrett, you take that opportunity.
Yeah, you take that, Nick. You do.
Jeff Jarrett can teach you some shit.
You do you, Nick. But listen, he'll be too busy wrestling on every episode and every match of Dynamite for the next 20 years to teach you anything. What, Drew? What if you started?
Yeah, Drew.
This is on you, Drew. Yes, let's move on. But yeah, Nick Wayne
found out
it's going to be awesome.
We found out on Dynamite that earlier in the day, Eddie Kingston defeated Kenta to become the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Open Weight Champion. And if you saw the press conference after, even right after the match, you could see how much that meant to Eddie Kingston. He's been very open for a long time about how Japanese wrestling really saved his life. It was a good moment, and to see the emotion in him, everyone loves Eddie. Everyone loves Eddie Kingston, so that was very, very cool. And I thought it kind of led into Jon Moxley talking about Eddie Kingston. This is the match here, right? Is this the all-in or all-out match for Jon Moxley as one-on-one with Eddie Kingston in some sort of, I don't know if they'll have a barbaric, violent match, or they'll just have a regular match. I don't know, but I feel like I really like what they've been doing with Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. I like Kingston basically saying no, I'm the only one that gets to beat you up. No, I'm the only one that gets to do that. And he's like, I love you. You're my brother, but the hell with that guy behind you. He's a piece of shit and I hate him. So I got to do what I got to do. I got to do what I got to do. Me hating him is more emotional for me than you and I being brothers. You know what I mean? Bebe, appreciate you, man. Have a good rest of your evening. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for making Pluggo think about Nick Wayne joining the Jeff Jarrett Appreciation Society.
Stop, Blair. Stop. Stop. Blair, what do you think about all of this? Because I know you follow a lot of New Japan, more so than maybe JPJ and I. What does that mean for Kingston to win that title? Oh, first off, before we answer the rest of the question that JPJ had, that's huge over there.
Oh yeah, it's massive, and I think it's massive for Eddie to win a title with not tons of history, but for him to have the chance to make that history, I think that's definitely something special for Eddie. And I was very, very happy for him. You saw the emotion in the post-match promo and the tears streaming down his face. I don't know how anyone can see that and not just be incredibly happy for this man. And I was so happy, so stoked for this guy. I'm glad, and I think it was very, very well deserved. So I'm very pumped for Eddie.
I would agree.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You either love Eddie Kingston or you're an internet troll. That's there's a group of people that just don't like Eddie, but good for him. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
and he's in the G1, right? He's going to be in the G1. Yeah, G1. So that's going to be cool to see. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I might have to get me some New Japan World going so I can catch those matches.
Yeah. We found out that Blood and Guts, which is happening in 2 weeks, two Dynamites from now.
You said it wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Blood and Guts. You got to say it like Regal style.
Oh, okay.
I can't do Regal.
We found out that Blood and Guts. That was terrible. Whatever.
It still gets me hyped. I'm fired up.
Fine. We found out that Blood and Guts, which is in 2 weeks from now, that each team, the Elite and the BCC, will have a mystery partner. We don't know who those partners are going to be the fifths in each team. And then on Dynamite, Chris Jericho came out and he was cutting a promo and he was getting a good ovation from the Canadian crowd there. And it was, I'm going to be honest with you, it kind of felt babyface-ish. It felt like a babyface-ish night for Chris Jericho. I thought the promo was not the typical, shitting on everybody, being a jerk promo. I think he was really taking in the warm ovation. And, he was very open, saying that he's been slumping and he thinks he might need a change in his career a little bit. And then we see Don Callis. And Don Callis comes out and he says, and, Don Callis was not, and Drew saying there might be two mystery partners because Yuta got hurt, unless they're kayfabing it, but it looked like Wheeler Yuta might have got hurt. Which we hope obviously is not the case. But Callis comes out. He says, hey, you you and I have known each other for a very long time. I think at one point he calls Jericho his best friend in wrestling. He says that if it wasn't for him giving Jericho the call saying, hey, I have an idea, you should main event the Tokyo Dome with Kenny Omega, that AEW wouldn't be a thing. And I don't think he's 100% wrong in that statement at all. I think there's some truth to that. And then he asks, he says, I want you to join my Don Callis wrestling, I forget what he called it, Don Callis wrestling family or Don Callis something, wrestling team or whatever. And Jericho says maybe. And then later on in the night, and then later on in the night, we find out that Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara, who have actually teamed before, they were picked up coincidentally, were chosen to be teammates in the Blind Eliminator tournament. And Jericho was back there, and he was saying things like, I think it's time for you guys to go prove that you're the future of this business and make a name for yourself. You can't always follow me. You can't always take my, whatever. Like, it's time for you guys to basically leave the nest and grow. You know what I mean? Do we think there's a possibility, especially now if, God forbid, Yuta's hurt and you need to, do you think Jericho could be on the BCC team for Blood and Guts?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a thing that happens?
Yeah.
I mean, anything is possible, Blair. Do you want to see it?
Yes, because then it gives Jericho another leg to stand on, saying that he's the only person to compete in all 3 Blood and Guts matches.
Yeah, I mean that
is something that he would turn into like a huge deal. Like I think there's different avenues you could go with it. I mean, maybe you could even do. I mean, he's recruiting, like Callis is recruiting Jericho to be a part of it. What if he's only using Jericho to get to like Sammy or Daniel Garcia and introducing them onto the team, because I mean, those are other options. But I do feel that, like, if you have, say Yuta's okay to go, you're having one mystery person on each team, you have to have someone with a name value being those mystery partners, whether it's Jericho with the BCC, Ibushi with the Elite, and run that 5 versus 5. So I think it has to be Jericho.
That was my initial thought. I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be a big name like Jericho. Yeah, and obviously the promo happened. I was like, okay. And I mean, where it leads after that, who knows? But obviously that would be kind of like, oh, we got the BCC and Chris Jericho. I was like, that would be kind of.
And really, honestly, we only have about 8 minutes left in the show, so I'll try to keep this tight. But like, there's really not a whole lot left for RADz to do. I mean,
I think that's why
Sammy and Daniel are obviously the foundation.
They need to go away because the Jajas is coming.
And no disrespect, we love Big Daddy Magic and all them over here, Hager and that, but they can be fine doing the tag team thing on their own. And Hager, I mean, Hager does. I can't remember the last time Jake Hager wrestled a match. He might be. Is he hurt? Or they just. Because I mean, it's been a minute. So yeah, you could throw Jericho in it. You've got the name value. He's got the big moments in the Blood and Guts matches. I want to see this build a little bit more because I'm still not sold on the just visual of him being in the BCC quite yet. Because I really love what they're doing without him, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I think Jericho's an all-timer, but he does have that. It's kind of hokey to him, so everything he does, and I don't want that to be. I don't want the BCC to become a hokey thing. But hey, maybe he just has to only if he dresses exclusively as Painmaker. He's like,
you're just complaining that he's hokey, and then you want him to dress as Painmaker.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying. Could you imagine?
100%. If he ends up in the locker room, he is going to be the Painmaker.
He's in the locker room putting on his eye makeup, and Mox is just like,
all I know.
Fuck you doing?
All I know is that and the rumor is that it might be Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, it's got to be Kota, right?
Almighty, that is going to be.
If I'm the BCC, let's be honest. It's got to be CM Punk. You got to go with Punk.
We only have a few minutes, so we will not.
They'll run out of the cage if it's Punk.
They
don't even want to be on the same arena as him. So
if you it's a Dynamite. Yeah, you heard Punk on when he was on the one Dynamite. He said, "I'm a Collision guy. I shouldn't even be here."
Yeah, but if he shows up as the fifth man, Nick and Matt and Kenny are running off.
Let's, like I said, on Sunday, me and Drew do a deep dive into AEW. And the last few minutes, I do want to ask Blair, how are you feeling about Collision so far, 3 weeks? And I am really digging Collision. I like the feel of Collision a lot.
I like it. I feel like it is a place where you have more established wrestlers on there, whereas, Dynamite, they're willing to put a younger guy on there, like a Wheeler Yuta, where on Collision, you're going to see your Miros, Andrades, etc. But like for me, I have limited time to watch. So if I do get to watch, I watch. If I have to PVR and watch it 3 days later, so be it. But I've enjoyed it. I think I need a little bit of a break from the multi-man main event matches that go a half hour long. Well, but other than that,
we get Joe and Punk this Saturday, so I think that's going to be a
doozy.
I talked myself into them not having that match this week, but
and I thought Joe and Roderick Strong was very good from last week, and the angle and everything. But I just wanted your opinion on that. Obviously,
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm really digging it. Dustin saying that some LPW crew that appeared on the show, Liza Hall, faced Nyla Rose in a dark match. MRB, Michael Allen, Richard Clark, Sebastian Wolf, and Miles DeVille were all on the show as security birthday crew. I did think I saw MRB. I was like, that looked like MRB.
Yeah.
That looked like MRB.
Friend of the show.
Jackie Lee,
so it was always good to see him. Too. And again, we're not going to dive in deep because we only have a few minutes here. So hop on over to our Twitch.
Here in
right after we get off here in about 4 or 5 minutes at 10 o'clock, and you will see Kyle Sparks.
He got a haircut, Ophelia? He cut his locks?
He got a haircut.
I didn't see that. Right. I didn't see that. I didn't notice anyway if I did, but
obviously there was a main event. It was Yuta and Omega. It was a very good main event. The stuff that happened after, though, the Dark Order getting involved in preventing Hangman from using a chair on Claudio. Very intriguing. I'm very intrigued by the way they've been showing the Dark Order here the last week or so. I'm very intrigued by that. So I wanted to kind of close off on that before we let Blair plug his stuff. Go ahead, do your thing.
You can find me and my good friend Pluggo. I got to remember the angles here. So Pluggo for Exposure every Saturday up on Love Wrestling as we take a look at the world of independent wrestling. So tune into that.
What are we talking about this week?
We're talking about Cage of Horrors, which was fun. The GCW show, which I still have to watch because I was going to do that tonight, but then I hopped on here instead. So
sorry.
There you go, Pluggo.
And we're going to preview something the GCW show that's coming up Saturday night.
Yeah, there's the GCW. There's another show that I swear is happening on Saturday that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to look it up when we get off of here and figure it out. But I know that there's another one.
So find me there, up on all social media, Graymaker Pod, Twitter, Blue Sky, I think it's called, and and go Alex Kane this Saturday.
Yes, we were going to talk about 100%. That.
100%. I see you wearing the shirt. Obviously, friend of the show. We're pulling for him big time. I feel good. I feel like he is going to become the new.
Listen, Court Bauer, if he doesn't leave as champ, you've made a mistake. That's all we're saying. AK all day, son.
All right, Pluggo, we got 2 minutes.
Not has a chance. Doesn't have a chance. Hammerstone, no chance. No shot. Okay. There's a lot now. There's a lot this week. So you can find me at Pluggo_ on Twitter. At Pluggo on all the other social media platforms. Just Google it. You'll see this face with this exact hat on. You can find our show page where you stay up to date with everything we got going on, from guests, from clips. Everything is right there at B2 Beards on all social media platforms. It sounds like I got to add a couple more to the mix. Once I get those established, I'll let you all know. They're coming out like wildfire. I also, this past weekend, recorded a podcast with Tom from Tom Talks Rubbish.
Oh, I did that as well.
Fightful Overbooked. Stay tuned for that. You never know when that'll pop up. Remind me, Blair, to link you up with Tom. He wanted to talk to you.
Yes.
And I forgot because I'm a bum. It's been a week. It's been a week. But yes, that's where you can find everything we got going on. Stay tuned. Like Blair said, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. for Exposure. We also have the brunch gimmick on Sunday. We haven't talked about that. 1 p.m. You never know who's going to show up there. We got lots of cool stuff going on. but we got 50 seconds. You do your thing before the ROH Reacts kick off on Twitch.
Yeah, you can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming everywhere. Over on the Twitter, over on Twitch, over on... Oh, no, he's coming on. It's too late. We got to get off. Oh, it's unfortunate.
Do we let
Twitter?
We let him on 15 seconds?
No, I feel like it's a disservice. I can't. We can't. Oh,
man, learn how to.
No. Anyway, Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky, Threads, all of them. JPJ Loves Gaming. We have to go. We have our debut Ring of Honor show coming up over on twitch.tv. Go follow them. Kyle Sparks, dude, Robert DeFelice. They're going to be chatting some Ring of Honor. So hop on over there. They should be starting in the next couple minutes. Until then.
You were late. Suck it, bro.
Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, no. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Oh, or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch yourselves. Knock it off.